Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eric Lamar Smith, your host of A Whole New Me show, and I would like to welcome you to our broadcast tonight. We're so excited about this kickoff show. It is 2016. Can you believe that we are here already? And it's a week over, so there's only 51 more weeks left in this month. But again, I want to welcome you to our show tonight. Tonight's show is going to be very exciting because I'm going to be introducing some very special people that are in my life to each and every one of you. You know, at the New Year's, a lot of people decide to make resolutions and so forth, and if you're one of those individuals that has made a resolution that this is the year for you to get the body you've always wanted or get yourself in the health shape that you've always wanted, hey, we're here to do it for you. The show that you're watching, you're watching inside of Facebook. So a couple of things I want to make you acclimated to the environment that you're in. Right up above my head, there is a share button. We're going to be talking about some exciting things related to health. You're going to meet my power team for my health and well-being. And so if you think there's other friends and family and loved ones that would benefit from what we're going to be talking about tonight, share this out. It'll go right out on your Facebook page, and you can invite those individuals to join and connect with us tonight. Down below the screen where I'm talking, there is a comment feed. Please feel free to tell us where you're listening in from. We'd love to know where everyone is from. And if you have any questions, my medical team and my professional team is with us. This show is for you tonight. So please do not be shy. Tell us where you're listening in from. Ask your questions. And we're excited that we're going to be getting this kicked off tonight. Now, one last thing. As you're making a comment, there is a button that says, you can uncheck that says auto refresh comments. It refreshes every 60 seconds. So if you're typing a lengthy question or statement and it's in that middle of the cycle, it will erase everything you just wrote. So you could uncheck the box, type what you want, and then recheck the box so it refreshes the comments. So that could be frustrating when it happens to you the very first time. So again, my name is Eric Lamar Smith, the host of A Whole New Me. I want to give you a little bit of background about how this got started. Back in last summer, I personally was experiencing very, very depressing health situation. I had extreme fear of going to sleep, and I don't know how many of you can relate to that, but when you're not sleeping well, if your blood pressure is high, your body is just not feeling well. There were times where I was driving and had near blackout spells. That was scary. And so there was a wake-up call for me, and I woke up in the end of August. And around the 1st of September, I decided, because this is what I do in my business, is shows like this and promote other people, why don't I do something for myself and for people that can come around me and help? So I started a documentary. And so what A Whole New Me is my personal documentary journey of my weight release process. This is an 18-month goal that I've given myself, and I want to make the documentary complete. 20 months, which is going to be about May of 2017. My goals are to release 150 pounds, give or take some, if that's what my body is able to do. I want to reduce my body fat percentage and become healthier and have tremendous amount of tremendous amount of energy. That was September. And since then, there has been an amazing transformation that has already happened. And so what I want to do now, I'll get into some of those details a little later, but I want to just introduce to you some of the important people that are here making life better for me. When I started this, I sat down with a lady that is now near and dear to my heart because she asked me a question. What are you going to do about food addictions? I told her what I was doing as far as exercising and getting a massage therapist on my team. I have a chiropractor on my team, and she just said, what are you going to do about food addictions. And I kind of scratched my head and I said, well, that sounds pretty logical. Maybe I should do something about food addictions. So I want to introduce to you tonight. We have a panel of experts that are very important. Lauren Matos. Lauren, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, Lauren. Lauren Matos is a certified mental health and uh, specialist. Lauren, tell us a little bit about your background, why you got into what you're doing, and a little bit about what's happening with me. You have permission to tell them anything about what we've talked about.
Okay. I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I've been doing this about almost 6 years now. And I started out my career in the addiction field, so I have a lot of experience with people with various types of addiction. And we know that, food is processed chemically in our bodies, and that means it also affects our brains. And so we can become attached to different foods for various reasons, because food makes us feel good. And sometimes, we have a term in our culture called comfort foods, and there's a reason we have that, because those are the foods that make us feel good about ourselves or remind us of a time when that was better, and we tend to reach for those, when we're not feeling so hot. So, the reason why I mentioned food addictions to you is because I could see, sometimes if anybody's going to have trouble making a life transformation kind of change, they're probably going to get in their own way, and these are kind of the things that will pop up.
Absolutely. Well, I want to come back and get a little bit more information from you, but I want to introduce a few other people, and then we're going to talk about the interaction that we've had and so forth. And I really am grateful that you're in my life, and I appreciate the help that you've given me.
Oh, thank you.
In addition to getting the mind right, because if the mind is not properly prepared for this journey that needs to be made to transform. I mean, how many times have you said, I don't feel like myself. I want to be a different person.
Right.
And this is where a whole new me came up from. But the next thing, as I started piecing this together, I knew I needed. I've always believed in chiropractic care, and so I've always had a chiropractor in my life for the last 25 years. I've been going to different chiropractors. Well, I've moved to Tampa here 14 months ago, and so I was going to another doctor that I started this journey with, but through the prodding of my personal trainer, which she's not on the panel with us tonight. I'll give you her information a little bit later on. Through the prodding of my trainer, and I'd also met this wonderful doctor through some networking groups, I decided to go see Dr. Doug Arvanites. Dr. Arvanites, are you there, sir?
I am here.
Man, I want to thank you for being the quality doctor that you are, and you've done some amazing things for me. So welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. And Shonda can be very persuasive to get you to come to me.
Yes, she can. She can be very persuasive. So we get into battles, but I turn around and listen because I know it's for my own good.
Your own good.
The reason I chose, again, to have a chiropractor on my team is I understood how important alignment is to the body. And then what I learned from Dr. Doug, and you can tell about my first visit there, and I'd like you to talk a little bit about muscle testing and some other things, and just talk about your services, talk about your background. But I understood how important just having a good alignment is with my body, because I wanted to be able to train and have good results from my training. But tell us a little bit about yourself, Dr. Doug, if you don't mind, please.
Well, my name is Doug Arvanites, and I'm originally from Warren, Ohio, and did my primary schooling, my undergraduate at Ohio State. And I've played sports my entire life, competitive athlete ever since I was 5 years old. And so sports has been a big part of my life, nutrition, sports. As you were talking about, the right mental attitude, you have to have that as you're going through these journeys. But when I was playing my sports, I was playing against much bigger guys than myself, and I'd get beat up pretty good. I always went to my chiropractor, and he would fix me up, and I'd get right back in there, in combination with stretching and exercise and everything else. So I went and became a chiropractor to help people, because I have a background that is a little bit different than most chiropractors, and the experience to help with issues such as yours and people that want to train in a very active lifestyle. The majority of my clients are athletes, active lifestyle. We do probably just about more professional athletes than just about anybody in the country. We work with high schools in their football program and their wrestling program. We just started doing the combine athletes for the NFL, so we're doing all their evaluations. But it's extremely important in your health not to just have your nutritional aspect, but it's a balance. It's a balance of everything. With chiropractic, it's not just alignment of your spine, which most chiropractors do. There's very few of us that actually look at everything from the ground up. So when Eric came into my office, we looked at everything. We looked at him from head to toe. His feet are really important to me because that's the foundation to your entire body. Unless you're in a wheelchair or unless you are an amputee, that is your foundation. So whatever happens down there biomechanically is going to change everything else for the rest of your body, and he's never had anyone look at these things. So we looked at him, we balanced him out, and he was able to go ahead and start training better immediately. His sleep improved almost immediately, wasn't it, Eric?
Yeah, the sleep, it was interesting. Speaking of sleep, because I went to a medical doctor, and again, what I'm doing with this process, I'm sharing with everyone what I've chosen to do. I'm not giving you advice about what you should do, but I'm sharing with you an option that is available. And so I went to my medical doctor first, and the first thing he wanted to do was have me do a sleep study. Again, sleep is extremely important to the process of releasing weight. But Dr. Doug, after understanding everything that I'm doing with all the experts that I'm working with and changing my eating habits, he recommended to hold off and just see with proper adjustment and everything else if my body would just start working better. And 2 adjustments later, I overslept one day, and it was like the best sleep I'd ever gotten in 5, 6 years. And I had so much energy. And so, yeah, I was grateful for that because of getting proper adjustments. So,
well, I would just tell everybody, there's a need for every type of branch of medicine out there, but always question your doctors. Always be prepared. Eric asks me questions when he's in my office, and I'm more than happy to explain my whole process to him. It's a little different than going to a typical chiropractor because we look at everything. We do the muscle testing, and his body was fighting itself. That's one of the reasons why he wasn't sleeping very well. So you release all this and you balance him out, or each person out, with the nutrition, the chiropractic, the stretching, every aspect of it, and the body no longer fights itself, and it wants to sleep, it wants to get some rest, and that's exactly what happened with Eric.
well, and I appreciate that. So we'll come back to you here, Doc. So hang tight there. We also have I brought onto my team another special person to start doing yoga. I mean, I thought, I'll be honest. Again, this is a documentary about being very transparent. I didn't have a lot of respect for yoga because I really didn't understand it, to be honest about it. So Sarah Gehring is a special friend and a very patient instructor. And so if you've seen any of my live stream yoga classes that I've invited, I make available on Monday evenings at between 6 and 7. So just stay tuned. Be sure you are like the page so you can see all the updates and times and so forth. But Sarah, are you out there, girl?
Yes, I'm here, but can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and direct. Are you cold or something?
Muting and unmuting and.
Well, welcome aboard, Sarah. I appreciate you being on tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for inviting me and having me among all these wonderful people.
Absolutely. Sarah, tell us a little bit about you and when did you get into this passion of yoga?
So I started practicing yoga in 2003, right after graduating college. One of my friends had become a yoga teacher and invited me to this crazy hot vinyasa flow class, and I thought I was going to throw up after it. But there was something about it that was different than any other type of exercise that I had experienced before. And as I've dove into the practice of yoga over the last 13 years, I've started to unfold and discover what it is about yoga that makes you feel so good once you adopt it into your practice and into your life.
Between the first session and maybe the last session, what were some of the things that you noticed that improved for me?
Well, definitely your flexibility has come very, very far along in a short amount of time. And that's one of the things that people are most apprehensive about as far as yoga is I'm not flexible, I can't stretch, I can't do all those crazy moves. But little do they know, it only takes a few sessions, as you have experienced yourself, to really start building that muscle memory, start building that flexibility, start building that balance into your body, and it will respond to the postures that we're doing.
So if you notice, started with getting the mind right. I have a personal trainer. Her name is Chandra. There's a button underneath the video that says Meet My Team. If you click that button later on, you'll be able to see a page that has the team featured. Okay, you can have all their contact information. However, I'm putting their information in the comment box below. But we started with the mind. I have a personal trainer, but together that works with having good chiropractic care. So as Dr. Doug said, I stay aligned from my feet all the way up. And now my balance and so forth, when I do yoga, I can do a lot of those poses. I mean, yeah, I'm a big guy, but I can do a lot of those poses and transition from some of those different postures that Sarah has me doing. So what I'm sharing with you is that what I did with this entire process is take a holistic approach to just looking at the body. And as you're looking at the changes and goals that you want to make, I encourage you to connect with my team, because they know what I'm doing and they can help you do the exact same thing. So far, at my 90-day mark, so we're in between my third and fourth month now. I had lost 20 pounds, around 25 inches, and 8% body fat.
Right.
And so this is a steady process. The goal here is the goal for me is not to do pills, is not to do a B12 shots and a 500-calorie diet or surgeries. But together, all of this can achieve optimal health. There's another doctor that's on my team. Unfortunately, illnesses has affected a few people, so they weren't able to be on the show tonight. But Dr. Denicia Hilton, and when you click on the button that says Meet My Team, you'll see a page. A space on the page for her. But she is a doctor of Oriental medicine and an acupuncture physician, and she has done wonders for me as well. When it comes to the very first treatment that I did with her was a release of water. I mean, she did some things so that I can get chi flowing through my system, and I was retaining water in my legs. And I tell you what, with 25 minutes later, I was searching for a bathroom, because I almost had a situation. I almost had a situation. So I also want to introduce you to someone that has joined me in my healthy walks and has also gone to Dr. Hilton. And she comes from the medical field as well. Her name is Shanice. Shanice, how are you tonight?
I'm great, Eric. How are you?
Super fantastic. Glad you're here. Shanice is the original partner of A Healthy Walk and Talk with Eric. So I want to thank you for joining me on that fateful Saturday 8 weeks ago. And we've had this walk every Saturday since. So thank you very much.
Well, it's been my pleasure. I really enjoy walking, and it's just beautiful out there on the Courtney Causeway.
So mark your calendar. Every Saturday morning we will be walking. We do a 5K. Doesn't mean you have to do the 5K, and it doesn't mean you have to stop at a 5K. If you want to go further, great. I'll be doing a 5K. If you want to go less than that, awesome. I don't walk extremely fast because again, it's a process. So bring a partner. Come at your own speed. It's not a race. So we come out to enjoy, and my team joins us as well. And so you get to know these individuals personally. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Shanice. You are in the medical field, correct?
Yes, I'm a registered nurse, but I work for a medical device company, so I'm not providing patient care. But I go into the hospitals and help nurses to learn how to use a smart pump device, which minimizes medication, IV medication errors at the point of care during acute hospitalizations. I started my fitness journey about let me see, it was 2011, and I got really serious in 2012. I moved from Indianapolis, Indiana to Atlanta, Georgia at 252 pounds, the heaviest I had ever been in my life. And I decided that if I didn't want to deal with diabetes and I didn't want to deal with some of the other ailments that my parents have, I was going to have to get this weight off. So since then, I've lost over 50 pounds. I became a licensed Zumba instructor. And since I've relocated from Atlanta to Florida, my habits have changed just a little bit, just a minor interruption in my life, but we're all back on track. Thanks to you, out on Saturdays, and things are going well. We're partners on MyFitnessPal, and we're logging our food, and we're sharing our diaries and things like that. Earlier this year, I was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease, which is a genetic condition, and my mother actually has the exact same disease. She was disabled in her 30s, had to quit working. But it is a disease that affects the soft tissue between the vertebrae. They basically go from the size of a biscuit to the size of a pancake. And I've been having back problems for about 20 years, but I realized earlier, well, it was last year, 2015, that every single day I was in pain, and it was interrupting my workouts, it was interrupting my sleep, my quality of life was really poor, and I ended up on opiate therapy. So Vicodin, Tramadol 3 times a day, and also muscle relaxers. Well, I don't want to take all of that
So
medication.
let me ask you a question on all that stuff. Did you feel pretty good? I mean, were you having highs of a day or what?
Yeah, let me tell you. On the medication, I felt like I could do back handsprings across the floor. But as soon as the medication wore off, I was right back where I started. And
So
that's what I was frustrated with.
so and say the name of the situation that you're battling.
It's degenerative disc disease.
Degenerative disc disease. So
Mhm.
we have Dr. Doug on the line today, and he may have some things to chime in on situations that people may be dealing with. That particular situation, the same as you have, and he may have some suggestions and comments since you brought that up. And I want to come back to you, Shanice, and
Okay.
with another question. Dr. Doug, do you see a lot of this situation out here with folks today?
I see that every day. That's one of the big things that we work with, and she's exactly right in her definition of what it is. But it's basically the spine's degenerating, or it affects joints too: knees, shoulders, elbows, wrists, ankles, all of that. It's not specific just to the spine. But the key thing with DJD is diet, exercise. You got to keep moving. You have to keep moving. So if you keep doing all these things, it slows down the process. Keep it in alignment would help.
So she's moving, so that's good. And so you went out and visited Dr. And the reason why I brought you on is because as a registered nurse, your medical philosophy has been based on Eastern or Western medicine.
Oh, definitely Western medicine. I even worked for a drug company in drug development at the first human dose clinic, for clinical trials. So I was really gung-ho about medications. You have a diagnosis, we can find a medication for it. However, my philosophy has changed simply because of the opiate therapy that I had been on. I'm not ready for this very aggressive surgery that was suggested because I personally don't feel that I am that bad because I am moving and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be careful, but I'm not going to stop. So I'm not ready for that massive surgery. So the only other alternative was to medicate myself every day, and I don't like that either. So I decided to go see Dr. Hilton after you and I had a few conversations, and I met her on one of our walks, and she was amazing. I have to tell you, as a registered nurse, I thought Eastern medicine was a bunch of smoke and mirrors. I've seen acupuncture before in a nursing rotation in nursing school, and I left there laughing like, that's the biggest scam I've ever seen in my life. And I'm desperate, so I thought I'd give it a try. So, Dr. Hilton and yourself invited me to one of your sessions, and I said, okay, there's something that freaks me out about needles in skin and no blood, but I'm going to stay and I'm going to watch. If I don't faint, I'll come back. So,
And I had it planned out. I wanted to scare her really good too.
he scared me a few times. He was audible when he shouldn't have been, and there was no reason to be. He just wanted to see me squirm. But I did make it through Eric's session, and I decided to give it a try. And when I went back to Dr. Hilton, I was very, very nervous. My heart was just beating because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it was going to feel like. I didn't know how long they were going to have to stay in my skin. I didn't know if I was going to bleed. I didn't know if it was going to work. So she just told me to relax, and she started some great aromatherapy and some beautiful music, and I was able to lay there and relax, and I hardly felt a thing. And when it was time for her to remove the needles, I was very calm and allowed that to happen. And when I got up, I just had this sense of just this buzz, this really natural. It wasn't like anything that I felt on Vicodin or muscle relaxers. It was a very smooth, calm energy. And usually, if I lay down on my stomach for a period of time and I try to get up, it takes me a little while to get up because I have to work the kinks out of my back, right? Well, because I was feeling so great, I didn't even think about it. I sat straight up. And I said, oh, my God, I can never go from a laying position to a sitting position this easily or this fast. So I couldn't believe the results. She also did some bowling on my back, and I'd never seen that before. So that was
So just time out just for a second. So what she said is that her mind she opened her mind. She's experiencing some other things, and so now and I experienced a lot of these things already. I've already been enjoying it. I've already known. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to you in a little bit. But to summarize, there's a couple other people that are not on here. Dr. Melita Tate, if you click again on my team, she's my doctor that I consult with. She's a holistic medical doctor back in my hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And unfortunately, her internet is, and her location is down. She can't get on. But she has been a very instrumental person in helping me understand sugars and my diet, as well as with Chandra. So between the two of these ladies, and Chandra, she's not able to get on tonight, but these people are all around me, and they can be on your team as well. Because when you start connecting all the pieces together, this is a journey that you can make successful. And so what I'd like to do, I want to transition because I promise you that I'm going to be sharing some goals with the Whole New Me. As I said, a Whole New Me started out as just me. Honestly, it was my cry for help. I couldn't do this by myself. I needed the help of others. So I brought others around, and I have a team, and I won't let my team go. This is very important. You can also achieve the level of health you deserve. Well, going into 2016, I didn't realize that this would become such a calling passion for me. This has become very important. Walking every Saturday. I've done it by myself once when it was cool and sickness hit and others were traveling. It's important. I've given up golfing with the golf league that I do on Saturdays to lead my walk every Saturday morning at 10:30. Now, as we're building this up, will I miss a Saturday to go golf or go out of town? That's very possible. But guess what? We have an established team of walkers that will be there for you to have someone to walk with. And so I wanted to share with you some of the goals that I'm doing for 2016. And there's a couple other people that you need to meet. Because this is touching lives of people here in the local Tampa Bay, Clearwater, St. Petersburg area, people that know me intimately and people that I've met that's now met my team and have had experiences with my team and are having great benefits, we will be forming this year a nonprofit or 501c3 for a whole new me. Because there are so many people that need to have this level of health and quality in their life. And I'm dedicated to make sure that this happens. I want to have walks across the country, various chapters across the country at some point in time, others being able to tune in through technology. If you can't join us at the Courtney Campbell Causeway, there's nothing that says you cannot join from your living room or your treadmill or just from your smart device and log in the walks. So we're going to be getting sponsors. I don't know exactly what the sponsors look like right now. That's not what I'm here to talk about. But what I am here to say is that through our Healthy Walk and Talk with Eric, we're going to be fundraising. I'm going to be fundraising, and you're welcome to join in with me. How are we going to do that? Well, I'll show you that here in a little bit. But why are we going to be fundraising? There are important charities in the community that I'm choosing to support, and I'm inviting you to join me in supporting these organizations. I'd like to invite you to just listen real briefly to another important person in my life, and this is Mary Ellis Rivera, who is a personal injury attorney in the Clearwater area, which is a friend of mine that I met about a year and a half ago on a trip to Tampa when I came and spoke here right before I moved. Mary Elise, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm so glad you were able to step outside of an event. She is at an event where are you located right now?
I'm in Tampa at a gathering here for Woman of the Year, something that I'm doing to raise money for families that have children who have serious medical needs that they can't afford treatment.
Tell me the name of this organization that you're raising money for.
It's called the West Chase Charitable Foundation, and what they do is they raise money every year through the Women of the Year contest, where various women raise money different ways, and every $2,500 that we raise goes towards a different family going through a crisis. Also, it helps children who have unmet medical needs like brain cancer, children who need surgery that can't afford treatment. So that's what I'm doing today. It's the Kickoff event, and I'm just trying to come up with fun ways to raise money to help these kids and families.
That's exciting, and I'm glad you're doing that. And so what I did is I had breakfast with her the other morning, and I surprised her because she had told me, she had reached out to me telling me that she was going to be, running for Woman of the Year, which involves raising money. And if she's the one that's successful in raising the most money for this particular organization, she gets that crown and title of Woman of the Year. So a couple of things that she shared with me. And actually, why don't you share a couple of the fundraising activities that you're going to be directly involved in?
Yeah, it's really however we can raise money. So there's a big event on March 5th at the Tampa Jet Center. It's a concert with a local band called the Black Honkies. So if people go to the concert and they buy a ticket under my name, then I raise money that way. But also we can raise money by however, any creative idea. So far I've planned a talent show. I'm going to have a lot of my friends participating. I'm going to have a bowling social, a speed networking event, a celebrity bartending event, just different fun things that can get everyone together just having fun and raising money for a good cause. And I'm also collecting silent auction items and finding sponsors for the event.
Outstanding. And so what I did is I surprised her because she came out and joined our walk as well, and she brought some guests to participate in our healthy walk and talk on Saturdays, and she's going to be there next week. She didn't realize she could bring people, and she said, I would have brought 10 more people if I could have.
I could bring 50 people.
Yeah, so bring the people. So what I surprised her and I told her, I said, you know what, I am launching a fundraising project for A Whole New Me through our walks by T-shirt campaigns. We have launched I've set up a fundraising campaign through T-shirts with booster.com, and I'll have this link set up in a button that you can click on as we wrap up the show. But I'm going to just show you real quickly the design of the shirts so that you can see exactly what we're doing. This is can everyone see this screen?
Yes.
Okay. So Healthy Walk and Talk is the branded walk that we do every Saturday morning, again, here in Tampa, and we'll be expanding this out across the country. But it's presented by me, the host of A Whole New Me show, and then on the back of the shirt, we have simply, come walk with me and A Whole New Me. So there's a link that you can go to, just click the button, and you'll go to this page right here. And the shirts are actually, these are performance dry fit shirts, so they're a nice quality shirt to be able to work out in. And the shirts are $25. You'll be able to click on this button right here. We have them in women's, cut specifically for women, and there's men's unisex shirts as well. So we would appreciate the support if you would purchase a shirt or two or three, however many you want. And then we like to wear the shirts for our walks on Saturday and eventually across the country. Now, this is our first design of this particular shirt, and so the shirts are going to change. And the reason why the shirt has the particular image that's on it is because not only am I supporting Mary Elise in helping her become Woman of the Year, because as we raise funds, the goal on this particular campaign is to sell 50 shirts. So the goal is to raise funds. If for some reason we do not hit our goal, and this is a 2-week goal on the shirt campaign, if you purchase a shirt and we don't reach our goal, then you're refunded your money. This is set up to where there is no expense in housing shirts and prepaying for a lot of shirts and trying to sell shirts, because we're just getting this off the ground, and as this thing grows, we'll have the resources to be able to do that differently. But this is an easier crowdfunding way of being able to help support. So I'm raising money through the sale of our T-shirts for A Whole New Me and our walks to support Mary Elise in becoming Woman of the Year with this particular organization. In addition to supporting Mary Elise, I have another friend. Her name is Tara Olmstead. Unfortunately, she is ill tonight as well. She was not able to be on, but she is a volunteer for the PACE Center for Girls. And I'm a part of her team that we're doing a fundraiser to raise money for the women, the young women at this organization who need simple things such as toiletries, clothing, bras, feminine products, and so forth. And so she's been a volunteer there teaching every week with this organization, helping these young women transition into life that have had some challenges in the past. Some of them have had challenges with the law, and so forth. But these young women are being taught etiquette. They're being taught how to be women. And so I'm choosing to support Tara's project with raising money for the Pay Center for Girls and also Mary Elise. So what I'm going to be doing is splitting the proceeds from the sale of our T-shirts with anyone who, with these two particular fundraising events. So I want to share that. That's something very exciting to be a part of and to announce. And in addition to that, we have one other special person that I want to introduce to you tonight, because this is a situation that's near and dear to me, and this is Nancy Heimrich. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Nancy Helmrich. I apologize. Nancy has a nonprofit organization that is designed for parents and helping their children with childhood obesity. I appreciate this type of work because my personal journey has been something that, as I've talked to Lauren, and we deal with food addictions, and we started peeling the layers of the onion back, my issue started at around 6 years old. I was always the biggest kid in school, one of the bigger kids, and I was pretty athletic, so it didn't bother me at that time, but I still was self-conscious. And as an adult, it's only gotten worse. So if we can help our children, I'm going to let Nancy talk about what her organization does, and her information, I'll post it in the chat so that you can go to her blog and so forth. Nancy, tell us a little bit more about your organization, please.
Sure. Thanks, Eric. I started Growing Healthy Kids in 2009 because of my work. Just as a background, I started it because I had been designing wellness programs for a Medicare health insurance company. So I was working with a population of about 14,000 older adults, many of whom had diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and were overweight. And I started designing these programs, and they were extremely effective. And people started getting results. They started needing less medicines. They started losing weight. It started getting a lot of attention. And my background is a disease investigator, and so I've transferred my work in communicable disease like HIV and tuberculosis to working now in chronic disease control. And that's why I made the decision after working for this insurance company that I needed to make a decision and shift my efforts to work in preventing the next major epidemic, which is type 2 diabetes in children, because of the increasing obesity that we've seen in children over the last 30 years because of the shifts in how food is produced and shifts in population movements. So Growing Healthy Kids, this is our 7th year we're starting, and it's a nonprofit 501c3 organization. We're based in Vero Beach, Florida, and I started collaborating with organizations that serve kids. The first year of the organization, I spent 2 days every week working at the local Boys and Girls Clubs locations, doing weekly classes in gardening and healthy cooking. So the main thrust, since then, we've expanded to working with a number of other nonprofit organizations, and most of our work is focused on empowering kids and adults to eat more of the good foods and less of the bad foods, combined with the balance of eating balanced foods and also increasing their physical activity, so to counterbalance all the social media, the video games and computer times that are and the sedentary lifestyles of their parents that are really transforming in a negative way health.
So that's a great opportunity, since you said keeping the kids moving and so forth. Mm-hmm. If you're in the Tampa area, well, bring your kids out on our walks. Mm-hmm. We had a 7-year-old kid come out with us. A lady brought her son out this past Saturday. Bring your children. This is something that is super important. I see how children are eating now. Again, I'm never going to step in and tell a parent what they should or should not be doing. Unsolicited advice is never accepted. but it saddens me when I see a plate with no green. Now I understand why my parents were trying to get me to eat green, but you know.
Right, right. Right. Well, you know what we do is I do a lot of classes at some of our local hydroponic farms. So, you know, I'm working with children from our homeless family center, youth guidance, working with kids at risk and at higher risk for obesity. And so you know, we're engaging kids in the you know, basically the farm to fork concept at a very local level and getting tremendous results through our series of healthy cooking programs that we do with children. And you know, and then I write a weekly column for parents called Wellness Wednesdays. That you'll have the contact information for, because you know I think that you know all parents need to know that you can afford to feed your kids healthy foods, and that's what a lot of people have been led to believe because of our you know increased dependence on the free and reduced meal program, and so a lot of parents think that they're powerless to make these changes, and so we give the power back to the parents and to the kids and to the families to say you can do this.
And that's a very, very powerful message. I appreciate that. I'm going to invite you to, there's a button on the page right below the video that says join our Facebook group. There's a group for a whole new me. And all of our team and our experts have been invited to be contributing members. And Nancy, I would like for you to feel free to contribute content and suggestions, and you know you're welcome to put your blog post inside of there. The only thing we do not do in the group and on the Facebook page for a whole new me show is that we don't promote network marketing. We don't promote business opportunities and things like that. If any of that is on there, it will be taken down. This is about supporting health and nutrition and so forth. Although there are good companies out there in network marketing and so forth, that's not our point in what we're trying to accomplish. So we're not promoting business, and so create relationships with people outside of it, and then you can promote your business. I'm not trying to stop people from making money. That's not the point. So please be a contributing expert there in the group for a whole new me.
Thank you.
So you know, I've said a few things. I want to summarize a few things, and I would love for anyone to comment anything that they would like to share, you know, with everyone. And I have a few people that I wanted to circle back around and just ask a few questions. Mary Elise, what did you get out of the walk with us on Saturdays? I'll start with you because I know you're going to have to go back inside the event if your computer dies.
Yes. Well, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, I had fun just talking to people. It's a really good way to have intimate conversations without so much closeness. It's hard to explain, but when you're walking and you're, you know, feeling the endorphins and you're in the beautiful environment, watching the water and feeling the breeze on your body, it's easy to open up and have good conversations, make good relationships. So I really enjoyed that.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you were there, and we'll see you next week this Saturday with more of your friends. So she has a huge following.
Thank you so much for supporting the West Chase Charitable Foundation and for helping all the families and kids in crisis. That's really all I'm doing is for the fundraising. If I win, that's great, but thank you for helping.
Well, and I thank you for your support as well. I mean, I believe in win-win-win relationships and situations. Yeah. And so, you know, if you would love to support the T-shirt campaign, refresh your page, and there's a button that's been set up for the T-shirt campaign. You can click on it and go right to the campaign and order your T-shirts. So we'll have a minimum T-shirts that we have to order to cover the cost of the company for setting up the T-shirts, printing, and all of that sort of thing. And then the rest we get to keep, and then I can split those proceeds with the two particular organizations. And so thank you for being willing to be a part of that organization to help families out there. Shanice, we were talking earlier, real quickly, I just wanted to circle back around to you. Regarding your experience and so forth, you now have gone to see Dr. Hilton twice, right? You're still on mute. Unmute. Yeah, there you go.
Just saw that. Yes, I have gone back to see Dr. Hilton twice. I realized after looking at my healthcare package that um, alternative medicine has been added as a condition of Obamacare. It's an extension of healthcare. So now we get to choose, how we want to be healthy. So we don't just have to go to a doctor. We can actually go to more holistic therapy if that's what we want. So my therapy's covered, and I can even use my flexible spending account if it exceeds. So that's been wonderful. So I'm definitely going to keep going. I talked to my doctor about coming off the medication, and he is supporting me 100%. He's very happy that I found something to help besides medication. So
And
I've had positive results.
because one of the side effects, the medication can also affect, you mentioned some major organs, correct?
Yeah, it can affect your kidneys, your liver. It causes some problems with acid reflux and chronic constipation. There's just a lot of side effects with it all, and it's habit forming. That's the biggest thing.
So that's beautiful
Yeah.
that you've been able to find some things. I'm glad you made that connection with Dr. Hilton. Again, I'm sharing with you all, again, what I've done, and then a few other people have been doing what I've been doing, and we're seeing benefits. I encourage you to connect with my team. And if you're not connecting with my team, connect with experts. Don't be afraid to get help. Lauren, I want to ask you just a couple quick questions. I mean, if there's any comments that you have, any thoughts, comments related to goals and changes that people are making for 2016?
Sure. First, you got to make sure that your goals are realistic, and specific. So, if your goal is just I want to lose weight sometime this year, that's a very loose and not very specific goal, and you're more likely to, not achieve that goal. So, when we make goals, particularly at therapy, we try to make them measurable and digestible, meaning that you can actually expect to complete that goal, which will boost your self-esteem and help you to complete the next goal. So it'd be better to say, I want to make sure that I have a vegetable at every meal, rather than, I just want to eat healthier. Having a vegetable at every meal is more specific, and it gives you a guideline to meet. And so that's a better way to set goals for yourself.
I want to just say one thing. I had to overcome a fear when it came to working with Lauren. It wasn't that I was afraid of Lauren, but I had to put out of my mind this idea that I'm working with a mental therapist, because I've thought of myself, I'm this strong guy and I'm going to see a therapist. I love my sessions now. You're not going to get me to miss my sessions unless there is just something that I have to take care of. Put that out of your mind. Oftentimes, we don't think we need help. We think it's a negative that we need mental health. Man, there's so many people walking around this country that need mental health. They should go check themselves in. It's okay.
People always assume that you don't see a mental health professional until until your life is hit rock bottom, or you feel like you're going crazy, or you're having some kind of breakdown. But the truth is majority of the time we help people who get in their own way. So we help you, reverse negative beliefs, check in with how you're thinking about the issue that you're having, make sense of maybe some of the ways that you're thinking and the ways that you're feeling about situations that are going on. Maybe helping you to broaden your field of vision and seeing maybe some other factors that are at play. So there's a lot that a mental health counselor can do for you that people don't really think is kind of in our wheelhouse. And the truth is that you are what you think you are, what you believe you are. And so if you believe that you're always going to be a fat person, well, then that's the person you're going to become. But if you believe that you can overcome that, and you're willing to face down some of those negative thoughts that may pop up, or maybe fears that pop up, if you're willing to do that, and get help overcoming that stuff, you may be more successful in your journey.
Absolutely. And so I welcome you to join me in the journey, and we can become partners and we can help each other. Sarah, tell us some exciting things coming up for yoga. And I invite you to invite everyone to, you can tell them. Come on.
I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what Lauren was talking about as far as negative thoughts and how those can influence you and hold you back from your goals. It's really the thoughts in our minds that can sabotage us at times. So thank you for bringing that up, because it's a very important factor I've found in life. But as far as events coming up that are exciting with yoga, we're going to be doing a yoga retreat in Puerto Rico, in Dorado, right on the beach at the Hyatt Hacienda Del Mar. You all are welcome to join in, and it'll be our 4th retreat, and they've done amazing experiences, so I invite you all to join in on that. Every Saturday, I teach yoga at Bella Spa, and you're also welcome to come there. It's right on Franklin, across the street from Taco Bus, which is how most people know it. And
that's downtown Tampa. Is where she's referencing.
Yeah.
But her contact information is in the chat comments. Connect with her. I highly recommend that you connect and get involved in some of the yoga. And si quieres, venga de nosotros en Puerto Rico, ven para acá, por favor. If you want to come with us to Puerto Rico, you're welcome. You're encouraged to come to Puerto Rico. We're going to have fun in March. What are the exact dates on that?
We haven't had them set in stone, but I believe it will be the first week in March, but I'll have that information to you very soon.
Okay, so we're a couple of weeks out. Dr. Doug, before we wrap up, I wanted to just get some final words from you, and any encouragement that you can share with individuals regarding this journey toward becoming a better person.
Well, I have a lot that I could share, but I don't think we have time for that. You put together a very good team, and just listen to all these people. They're fantastic, and I want to get a little bit more involved in this. But, Eric, you're doing something really great, along with supporting the charities and everybody supporting each other, and that's what this is all about. It's hard to go through life by yourself. You've got to have a team with you. You have to have good people around you, and with your team that you've got, you're going to be very successful in your journey.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate the part that you're playing with that. I do want to just say one thing regarding before I went to Dr. Doug, and the reason why Chandra really wanted me to go, I've been fighting a lower back issue myself. I would wake up in the mornings and I have to stand up and just kind of pause for a little bit before I could get going. And I was battling a left hip issue. And when I went to Dr. Doug, and this is something I wanted to circle back around that I asked you earlier, and I didn't allow you to answer this, but the muscle testing, and you did, but you mentioned about my ankles, and you were talking about the range of motion and the biomechanics. My right ankle, Dr. Doug asked me, when did you injure your right ankle? And I said, I didn't. What are you talking about? Well, I went in because of a left hip issue. So, as he mentioned earlier about biomechanics of the body, he muscle tested my right ankle. And by muscle testing, what he did is he had me put my feet on the edge of the bed, and he was pulling it, and he wanted me to resist. And so I couldn't resist, and so he could pull my foot up. So then we went into the adjustment room, and he adjusted my feet, my ankles, and my knees, and my legs, and then we re-muscle tested, and he said, okay, resist me. And we were pulling my whole body off the bed because he couldn't pull my foot up. And that's what triggered in for me. He also went into some things in my biceps, and he muscle tested and had me resist, and he could pull my arm down. And he went in and massaged some tendons and pushed them back into place in my bicep, and I could resist. So it taught me that if I'm going to go train, lift weights, do all these other things, I have to have the foundation, the extremities, and everything in place. So again, I want to thank you for being the expert in helping my recovery, because now in my back, I wake up in the morning with confidence. I don't have the low back pain. So I encourage you to go visit this clinic. It's on Dale Mabry and Dale Street between Horatio and Dale. So what I do is on Mondays, I go to therapy with Lauren. She's on Horatio and Dale Mabry. She's just right around the corner. And I park, and I circle the block, and I go see Dr. Doug. And then I leave there, and I go to yoga at 6 p.m. So Mondays, I have a do not disturb sign. That is my day of taking care of me. But no, you're welcome to come into that world. I don't mean that not to disturb me. But I set all that up because it's very important. And so after a treatment, I go do yoga, and I practice my tree pose and my balancing and so forth. So again, the goals this year, we want to get our nonprofits set up and get kicked off. We're starting this fundraiser. Please, if you can support the T-shirt campaign, please share the link on Facebook. Share it with everyone. We want to hit our goal of 50-plus shirts so that we can help these nonprofits, help these organizations, help individuals that have given of themselves to help others. And I'm a big giver and encourage you to get your shirt. Now, the process when you order your shirt, once the campaign ends, then it takes 2 weeks for the shirts to be printed and delivered, so you'll receive those in about a month. So just so that you will be aware of this. And if you're watching this replay, please share this information so that others can take part of this. There's a button to become part of the group. Please join our group on Facebook, and please share this information with others. I want to thank everyone. Nancy, thank you for setting up the nonprofit and helping young people fight this issue of childhood obesity. We look forward to you joining us at the Courtney Campbell. I will also be setting up a second walk day. I'm looking at Bayshore, and I'm thinking about Tuesday. But if you're in the group, you will get the information updated. And the reason why we ask you to join a group on Facebook, when you join a group, everyone will get all the notifications on a page. Not everyone sees those notifications. So please make sure you're a part of our Facebook group so you get all the updates. So we'll be adding a second walking day, most likely on Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m., but I will give you a confirmation about that. Please support the T-shirt campaign. Share, get it out to other people. And I appreciate each and every one of you for being on tonight. This brings our show to a close.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you,